Hi folks, this is going to be a demonstration of how to search the psychology databases for articles that you may be using for essays or term papers. Okay, so first we're going to go to the library website. It's library.svsu.edu. We're going to go to the bottom left and click Databases down here. You're going to go to P for Psychology. And then scroll down a bit to where you can see PsycInfo and PsycARTICLES. Remember, PsycARTICLES and PsycInfo are similar. PsycInfo is going to be the much broader database, which will include journals from all sorts of different topic areas, as well as books and dissertations and theses in the area of psychology. Whereas PsycARTICLES is only going to be APA-published journal articles, and specifically those which are available for immediate download. So that's sort of convenient, that whatever you find in this database, you can immediately access the PDF. So let's try that for this demonstration. So I clicked PsycARTICLES, and let's imagine I'm doing an assignment on therapy for depression, right? So let's just start by typing in major depressive disorder. Disorder. Okay. The defaults here are anywhere, meaning that topic comes up anywhere in the article, and it also defaults to any publication date, but you can also narrow that if you like. Let's just see what that brings up for us, and it might take a minute to think. Wow, okay, 15,000 results. That's sort of a lot. I imagine you don't want to have to scroll through all of this to find the article that would be perfect for whatever task you're working on. So let's probably narrow that down a bit. But just so you know, as you scroll through here, you can see the title of each of these articles, the journal in which it's located, the authors, and if there's any graphs, tables, figures, you can see previews of those. But let's make this a little more specific. So I'm going to head back to advanced search. Let's try major depressive disorder, but in the title of the article. Okay, so I'm going to set this to document title instead of anywhere. Because I figure if major depressive disorder is in the title of the article, then it's definitely going to be on topic. Some of those other articles in the 15,600 that you saw in that list may have been a broader topic and not as helpful for what you're working on. So let's try this out. Okay, here you can see this narrowed it down to 85 results, which is pretty helpful. That, depending on what you're working on, may be enough, and you may want to skim through those to see what kind of material comes up. But for the purposes of this demonstration, again, let's imagine that we're specifically working on some essay about therapy for depression, and I want to be really specific and see if I get lucky. Okay? Of course, the more search terms you use, the less likely you are to find something helpful, and in fact, it may come back and say that there are no results. But let's see what happens. So I'm going to plug in treatment, and let's see if we can even plug in treatment in the title rather than just anywhere, and see what happens. Okay, this pulls up 13 for us. Let's order them by recency. I'll go with most recent first. Okay, it looks like there's an article here from 2019, predictors of treatment attendance in cognitive and dynamic therapies for major depressive disorder delivered in a community mental health setting. Okay, that sounds fascinating, and it might be helpful for the essay I'm working on. Let's click it and take a look here. So when you click on the title, up comes more detail about the paper, including the full abstract, which is nice. Okay, so remember in my classes when I ask students to use an empirical article, what I'm asking them to do is find journal articles that are the original source of data from real subjects. So the easiest way to do that is to just check in the abstract for whether there's a methods section that would describe collecting data from people. And that can vary, of course, anything from a case study to a naturalistic observation or an experiment, a correlational study, or even meta-analyses. But importantly, you want to see that there's a methods section, and here we see that. So this investigation included 237 patients. Okay, so that means this is a original piece of social science research. It's an empirical article, and they collected data from those people as a part of trying to answer what their research questions were. Okay, so take a skim through this. if based on the abstract it sounds like this paper would be helpful for the assignment or task you're working on, remember that this is not the whole paper, right? This is just the database entry. So you want to get access to the full text in order to do a good job with your assignment. So let's go up here to download PDF, and that's where you can get the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to open that up. Now you're looking at the actual first page of this journal article, right? So again, you see the abstract here, which is the same thing, but now if you scroll down, you've got the entire journal article at your fingertips. So definitely read through all of that, ensure that you understand it, do some brainstorming about how well this may fit into the narrative of your project that you're working on. And then if you decide that it is going to be helpful, you can write it up in your own words and utilize an in-text citation and a reference to point your reader to where you got this information. And check out my related video on authentic writing practices to make sure that you're doing a good job of that. But basically, this is how you would approach the PsycARTICLES database in order to search through all the options that are out there and find something that could help you with what you're writing about. I hope this is useful. Have an awesome day.